Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Excuse me. I got some new watercolors in. Now, they're not high-end per se, you know what I mean, like Linear and all that. But I have several sets, themes from this company, and I really like all their stuff. As a fact, so I'm gonna show you my new set, and I'm gonna briefly show you here. These are the other sets that I have, which is the watercolor confectioners, which is the same thing. And this is like a it says currents theme. I have a review on my review playlist. This one is a woodlands theme, and this one is a vintage pastel, and these are gorgeous. So they all kind of run the same. I pay roughly, I have Amazon Prime, which I highly recommend. It is worth every penny. Just as a side note, every penny, because not only do I get the Amazon Prime on TV, but I get faster service. Sometimes I get extra discounts, things like that. So, and then we have, Amazon Prime Day, which is kind of a thing. So I would highly recommend it if you don't. Having said that, it was 20 and like a nickel for me. Now, if you don't have Amazon Prime, I think it was like 21 and some change, 35, I think. So it's not a huge difference, but every bit counts. And I saw this and I was like, what a beautiful, bright, vibrant palette. And I thought, it's the time of year that it is. We're kind of heading into spring. And I thought that I would have a play with something like this, and maybe my pastel set, do some things that are typically reserved for spring, like a robin's egg, or, stuff like that. Flowers. So this is what the back of it looks like, and there's a little menu with all their colors and the little swatch, and then it lists it all right here. This does slide off, so we'll set that to the side. Now I have not opened this, and I didn't know if it had a like a little mini swatch chart or not, so I made one up just kind of roughly to just in case it doesn't. So let's get this open without causing too much damage. Oh, I thought there was plastic in. Oh, well, I might have just scratched it. Crap. Hold on. I did a little. Not too much. I thought there was plastic shrink wrap on this, and there was not. Oh, okay. So this is what the inside of it looks like. Oh, wow. Oh, hold on. Let me turn that right so that. Oh, dear. So this is interesting. Now, I don't know what happened here, but can you guys see that? Where it's kind of wonky and it doesn't fit the palette hole quite right. That's a small issue. It's not a big one. But what is confusing for me now is because I based this right here off of what was on the back of it. If I can ever get this back up. Oh my goodness. Yeah. This is interesting. I didn't catch. Where is it? Sorry. Okay, here it is. These do not match at all. Oh dear. That's a small issue. That kind of shows that it's a bit of a budget set. It's not an uber budget set. Believe me, I've had a few of those. This is mid-level. It's not bad. But it's just little things like this that you would not see in, your higher end stuff. So crap. Now oh my gosh, hold on. Now I've got to go in. Oh dear. So this matches that, which is good. That is good. These two do match. I can tell just by looking at that they match. And unfortunately, mine matches what's on the tin, on the back of the, not the back of the tin, the back, this thing. Now, I don't know why these aren't the same. That's very odd. Well, I guess I'll just have to, oh dear. Process of elimination. Oh my gosh, this is dumb. That's just a little bit dumb. If I'm not sure, what I'm gonna do is grab some spare paper here. And if you don't have this size, I highly recommend it. Strathmore is the best, and for your mid-range paper in general. This is not 100% cotton, but if you're just, for things like this, it would do just fine. You don't always have to have 100% cotton. It just depends on what you're doing. But this is really worth getting. This size is a great size for a lot of things. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the swatch. I think what I'm going to do, for the sake of argument here, I'm going to put this up here. Or over here, I guess. Yeah. Okay. This threw me for a loop, so I hope you'll bear with me. Okay. I hope you're still here. So what I'm going to do is take some of my water. Side note, if you don't have something like this, I highly recommend it. I got this, I think, either at the Dollar Tree or Amazon, maybe, something like that. I forget, but it snaps shut like that. And, I mean, there's a little thing here where you could put a little extra handle. But, I mean, how cute is that? I took this with me when I would go to the pool a couple of times this summer. And I wanted to sit one of the tables, one of the few tables that they have, and just paint on the table. Something like this and this will be perfect. And this doesn't come off very easily. I mean, it does, but, you know, it's not like, if you leave it down, it'll be all right. So, yeah. I think I'm just going to paint in the order that it is here because these two match. And then I'm going to email customer service, if it even exists, which I think it does. It probably does. And tell them that they don't match. So hopefully for future sets, they will fix that little issue. Because the color list is the same. So we're just going to go by this since it matches. All right. And the white is self-explanatory. I don't think I really need to swatch the white because it's not going to show up anyway. So we'll do the lemon. Oh, hey, this is a cool thing I didn't notice. But I'm going to pull it out of the thing here again. I don't know if you can see this, but I apologize for the reflection. But do you see where it has the pigment number? So you can tell which ones have like a single pigment, like the lemon is a single pigment. Yellow, it has 2 pigments. The melon has 2. The cherry just 1. That's really cool. I did not actually notice that. Okay, that's cool. I'm trying to learn more about what the pigment names are for some of these colors that they come up with. That's a worthwhile thing to learn. It's kind of fun because then it helps you sort of expand your knowledge of how things work together. So that's just something that's food for thought. So let's try this lemon. And you know what? I was going to use my Princeton snap brush. Oh, sorry. Oops. I don't know why there's tape on that. Okay. Anyway, this is my Princeton snap. I believe it's a 4. Yep. And very, very utilitarian type brush. I love it. I was going to use that, but I think I'll use the little water brush because that's a nice, it's pointed but not super pointed. Oh, I do have to get the water. There's a little bit of glue on it, which is good. That's some nice attention to detail. I did not expect that. There's a little glue on it which comes off very easily with like warm water. It doesn't have to be hot, and that dissolves really quick. So I'm gonna go do that real quick and I will be back. All right, so let's see how this looks. I'm gonna drop, what I'm gonna do actually is grab my little mister. I got this one from Tim Holtz, or Tom Holtz, geez, I'm sorry. You guys will recognize, some of you will recognize his stuff. I think I'm just going to spray the whole thing like I've seen them do. Whoops, hold on. Everything's acting lucky. That's kind of what this is for. It's for stuff like this, and it's also for if you have the distress inks, because the mist like that sort of activates the distress oxides in a certain type of way. It affects how it appears. It's kind of cool. I'm not masterful enough on that medium yet. I have a lot to learn. So when I get better at it, I will let you guys know what I know. So this should be wet enough. There it goes, see? And it came off pretty easily. And also when you do this, you don't have to dig. As when you pre-spray it like that, you don't have to dig in with your brush so much. And with a brush like this, it's no big deal. But if you have like the nicer, more expensive brushes, you really don't want to do that. Because I have one that I dug a big hole in it. Because at the time, I didn't know any better. So I'm just going to do, I think I'm going to do like a wet on dry for now. So this being the wet and then the papers being dry, just so you guys can see how they look. And I'm going to go until it starts fading out a little bit. So let me get a paper towel. Oh my gosh, this will work. Okay, just something to wipe it. I would recommend either tissue or paper towel, something like that, just to kind of change your color a little bit. And also these things, you see how close I can bring that in? So there we go. You know, I'm just gonna take a little off of there. Okay, cool. Let's see how the just the straight old yellow. I'm gonna put a drop on there anyway, just to get it thoroughly saturated. Right now it's lightly saturated, and just putting one drop on there will kind of help saturate it a little bit more thoroughly. Gently. I'll move that back. Ooh, that's pretty vibrant. I'm a little mad at them for making me do my swatch wrong, man. That really kind of just... Customer service will be hearing from me. That's annoying. This should match that, and that should match that, which it does. But not that part. Yeah, that's like, okay, that's not kosher, guys. Also, one nice thing about this is you can use the side right here to kind of... You see how I'm doing that? Now with these water brushes, you have to be careful how much you do that, because it'll just keep pulling the water out and out and out. So this should be good enough though. All right. This is the kind of color you would use on skin. I'm gonna remove this. It's right where my hand is moving. Which, by the way, in about a month, I'm probably not going to be able to use for a couple of weeks because I need to get hand surgery. Wow. It needs a little bit more at the top, but I'm just going down. Wow. Good skin color, as I said. So, yeah. But I need to get surgery on my hand. Right here. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a big, gigantic... cyst on the joint. Yeah, and if that sounds like it would cause a problem, yes, it does. I'm very right-handed. So, yeah. So I will keep you guys updated when I actually get a surgery day and all this jazz, and I'll let you guys know that I'll probably be out for about 3 weeks to give my hand time to, recover. So next color, that was melon, by the way, which that's a good fitting. I like it. It works. All right. Oops. Oh, and these, like the Derwent ones, they go on counterclockwise. It's very weird. I don't know. Okay, so we have cherry. This isn't quite how I planned on doing it, but when life hands you lemons, you make lemonade. So there we go. I'm making lemonade. This one is not as pigmented as I would like it to be. I had to add an extra layer there to sort of pull out that color a little bit more. That was not as pigmented as it could have been. Reds are supposed to be highly pigmented in general. This one is not. I bet you too that this ends up being transparent or partially transparent. It's PR23. If anybody knows in the comments, let me know what you think, what that means. I know I don't understand the PY, the PI. See, I'm still learning about that stuff. So if anybody knows or knows a place that would give good knowledge about this sort of thing, I would really appreciate. Pop it in the comments and let me know where I can go to learn about this. Where I can Google to know this a little bit more. I would like to actually. I think it would be fun. Now, as you can see, these pans are already starting to dry, some of them. So odds are I'm probably going to have to spray it. They're still a little bit wet, but they're not as wet as they need to be so that I don't have to dig onto them. And this is wild strawberry. Oh, that has to go over there. And I do like how this watercolor brush that they included, I like it. It's got a good multifunctional point to it. I like it. It's the barrel part's really small, so you'll have to change it a lot probably, but I mean the water and everything is all coming out of this really nicely, not like gushing out or anything like that. So I would say it's good. So let's move on to, and I am definitely going to have to spray this again. Okay, hold on. If you don't have one of these, I highly recommend it. It's way better than, like, say, a small spray bottle. Because the mist comes out finer. Tim Holtz, I believe is the guy's name. He has a whole bunch of stuff. I've got some of his inks. But as I said earlier, my knowledge of how to use them is still quite limited. I have a lot to learn. And, there's nothing wrong with that, right? We all have things to learn. I decided to get these are the best thing for doing, they're better than paper towels even. And they're basically called hand towels. I highly recommend these, by the way. They are really awesome. They're like Super Duty paper towels. They're really, really nice. So, marigold. Marigold's one of my favorite colors. I really love it. This one's not bad. It does seem a little staining. This is why you really want something like this rather than the tissue that I was using, because I couldn't find these. Because it takes a lot more than the tissues do. So, wait, that's pretty. All right, so we have papaya next. You see, I'm not digging in that deep. Oh, this is pigmented also very nicely. Whoa. I'm going to just take up a little bit here so you can see what it looks like when it's real light versus like when it's real heavy. Yeah, that is acting up on me a little bit. Sorry. I'm a little OCD about my swatches, guys. I'm sorry. It's just one of those things. I'm sort of like that. I don't know. I'm sure you know what I mean. I'm sure there are those of you that know exactly what I mean. Okay, let's see. We have orange next. Ooh, this is really pigmented. Wow. The only two that really weren't pigmented to me were, it is starting to clog up a bit now, though, I will say. Just a little bit. So I decided to go ahead and just rinse it and squeeze a little water out. There we go. See, no big deal. So it will clog up like any water brush will at some point. They're just prone to that. It's a thing. All right, let's see, what have we got next? Carnation. Ooh, carnation's a very interesting color to me, and this is not that pigmented, and it does seem a little bit transparent too. Yeah, you see how this is, it's either transparent or semi-opaque. I'm not 100% sure. That is definitely transparent. That is a little bit transparent too. But this, I'm thinking, let me know what you think. It says carnation. And it says that it is PR 146. If that means anything to you. So let's go on to the next. I'm just going to do this one. And it says it is just straight up pink. Usually what I do is I'll go in after it, I'll wipe my brush on my towel here, and then I'll go in and just kind of wipe it up. That way I can see what it looks like. Like I said over here, it is, you can see what it looks like when it's a little bit darker versus a little bit lighter. That's always a good thing. In fact, I'm going to actually go back in over this a little bit more. It's not... because I want to be able to look at that and go, that's how it looks like when it's applied a couple, 2-3 layers and versus when it's just a thin wash. I hope that makes sense. So this has gotten a little yucky, so I'm going to fold it over. I really do highly recommend these, honestly. Kleenex makes them, as you could see, so I highly recommend it. Let's see, what do we have here? Sky. Let's see how pigmented this is. Oops. Okay. I want to make sure I'm still on camera. I am a one-woman show, so sometimes I can't tell when I go off camera. I'm sorry. I really do love that little water cup. It's just amazing for the price point. It was between $1 something and $5. I mean, it was pretty reasonable. And this is denim. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, that looks more like a Delft blue than it does a denim. Don't you think? That looks to me more like a Delft blue, I think. Yeah. We'll see what it looks like dry. As you can tell, some of these have definitely changed. When they started drying, they definitely changed color a little bit. When that dries, it'd be interesting to me. Denim, I always thought as being a little darker and a little less purpley. Again, if you look at the Delft blue from Crondash, they're like Supras, that's what that looks like to me. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. So this one says just straight up blue. Well, now that is a Prussian blue. Yeah, that's Prussian blue. Yeah. That is definitely, in my opinion, that is Prussian blue. Straight up. I know they're calling it just blue, but that's Prussian blue to me. I mean, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments if you think that looks more like Prussian blue than just blue, which is so uninspiring. Okay. I think that's Prussian. Totally. Okay. So this one is teal. And that does seem pretty pigmented too. This one's a little less so. This one is a little less, and I think it also might be either transparent or partially transparent, perhaps. I'm a real bit of a neat freak when it comes to this sort of thing, though. I don't know why. All right, so the last one is purple, just regular purple. We'll see what this actually ends up looking like. This is not as pigmented as I would have thought a purple could be, but yeah, it could be purple, but it's a very pinkish kind of purple. Like, to me, it's closer to the purple that the Caran d'Ache has in their Supras. It looks a lot like that. But to me, this airs closer to the side of mauve than it does purple. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Let's see. This just says lime green, which I may have forgotten to put on. Uh-oh. Yeah, I sure did. How about that? My other swatch that's all out of order, I forgot to put that on there. How about that? Oh well. I'll fix it. I may have to redo that whole stupid swatch because of that stuff being off. I didn't want to open it before I opened it with you guys, you know. I wanted to wait and see it with fresh eyes. So that was quite the surprise to me. Yeah. Okay, so here we have black. Now, their black is going to be very interesting to see. Oh yeah, that's a warm black. That is definitely a warm black. Abso-freaking-lutely. This is what I would call a lamp black. I'm doing it really thick up here because I want to be able to see the clear difference between it light and it dark. That is a lamp black, I think. Lamp blacks are warm and ivory blacks are cool, I believe. So not all blacks are created equal. Trust me on that. When they say just black, yeah, what kind of black? That's like white and off-white. You know, baby pink and carnation. You know, that kind of thing. So, let's go. We have just their version of a brown. I think I want a little more. This is more like a, I'm going to say, oh boy, burnt sienna, burnt umber kind of deal. Possibly chocolate in the Prisma. Let's see what it looks like dry. That's very interesting. Yeah, I'm thinking it's a burnt kind of brown. Because you know how I know this. You see how much of a undertone it has, that undertone? That's the undertone is what's telling me that it's got some red in it. Possibly yellow though. What do you guys think? What kind of brown do you think that represents? I would be very interested to know. So now we have wood. I think this is going to be their version of a dark brown. Come on. Yeah, it's starting to clog. When it starts buckling at the top like that, up here, that means that the paint is getting up under the ferrule. Jeez. It's getting up into here. This part that's under the plastic. Some of the pigment is creeping up into it. And that is what happens. So, just to let you know, if that ever happens to you with one of these water brushes, just take it off and turn the take this part off, turn it upside down, and slowly let the water drip into it, and then thoroughly rinse it out, and you should be good to go. So let's redo this one because that just didn't come out well at all. Oh wow, that is definitely a Van Dyke brown, maybe, I'm thinking. Ooh. Yeah, that is definitely a Van Dyke kind of brown, in my opinion. That's what that looks like. Like if you go to the, it'd be interesting. As a side note, I might just do a little thing where if I can, see if I can come up with like the Prisma equivalent. That would be fun. Just to test how right I'm gauging some of these colors. Because I still have a lot to learn. We all have things to learn, and my journey is far from over. So it would be very interesting to see how close I've gauged some of these. It would be fun. So here we have moss. I'm going to do that one down here. Oh, that's pretty. This strikes me more of a greenish yellow. And I say that deliberately because the green is predominant. The yellow is the undertone. A greenish yellow, olive green, kind of. But it could be moss. But I don't know. I'm not so sure. Let me rinse my brush. Okay, so here we have what they call sand. That's... it's a little too yellowish. Maybe we'll see what it looks like dark. I'm gonna put it a little heavier here so it shows up more when it's dry. This has been kind of fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed my little rabbit trails. I know some people get annoyed, but my brain, that's just how my brain works. I just think of stuff. And I like to kind of just go off the cuff, and sometimes thoughts come into the head like, oh, this would be cool to tell them that, and, oh yeah, what about this, it's like, so there is also a little foam thing here, which I think you can either put water here, or it might be something for you to wipe your brush on, which you absolutely could, see, just like that, if you don't have any paper with you. There's any number of uses that could be applied to. Here, I think, is where you would put your paint. No, you could put your paint here, actually. You could mix your paint here. I think that's what this is. These are the wells for your paint. And then this is the well for the water. Got it. So, this is my first time seeing it. So, I think that's the deal. Now, let's get this dry and see how it looks. Okay, I hope you'll pardon if my light's a little darker. I have a USB charged type light that just died on me, so sorry. So I have dried them, and also one little tip too, get you something like this, or rather than, I think, even a heat gun, because it's a little bit gentler than heat guns. And if you don't want to get your paints directly, like the heat directly on them, And also the paint was starting to curve like this way because I was drying it like this. Just turn it over like this and just go for the back until it straightens out a little. And then you can just go back and forth like that. And that way your paper won't be quite so wonky. Now, the other way to tell, now that they've all cooled down a little bit, is just the back of your hand. Yep. That one's a little cool to the touch, but that was the last one. But these are absolutely fine. And use the back of your hand, because if you use your fingers, you can get oil on the pigment, and if you go back over it, it's going to act like a resist crayon almost. I saw Michelle, she has a huge YouTube channel. I forget her last name, geez, but her name is Michelle. She lives over in England. Fantastic lady. Please go check out her channel. In the studio, I believe. Excellent, excellent watercolor artist, and she is incredible. Like, one of the smartest ladies I've ever, when it comes to painting and drawing, one of the smartest ladies I've ever come across. I've learned so much from her, it's ridiculous. So, but I learned that little tip from her to do this instead of this. And in this case, it don't matter, but that's a little tip I'm just throwing in extra. So, let's see. I would say, so far, it's pretty accurate. I'm going, this one's a bit different. That one's pretty accurate. This one's different. The marigold, that's the marigold. And that is definitely different. And I know it's the right color. So that one definitely changed a lot. This one changed a lot. The papaya. The orange is pretty much the same. The carnation changed a little bit. This changed a lot, and that is the wild rose. That changed quite a bit, in my opinion. The sky is fairly the same. The denim is the same, but I still contend it's even dry. I think that's more of a Delft blue, in my opinion. This is more of a Prussian blue, which means that it's just all about the undertone. Like Prussian blue versus Prussian green. It's all about the undertone. This reminds me of a teal, if teal and mint green had a baby. Okay. This is purple by some people's standards, but by others it's too pinkish. I think it depends on what side of the pond you're on. Maybe. I'm over here in the States, so for us that's not really exactly 100% purple. That's more like a lavender or a lilac than just like purple. I would say that changed also quite a bit. And that's the lime green. But it's not too dramatic. It changed some. The black changed quite a bit because this is a warm black. So it might be a little granulating too. The earth tones and some of the yellows tend to be very granulating. Like this one was probably a little bit granulating, and it's also a little bit staining. I can tell just by looking at it. The brown is changed quite a bit, but not drastically. This is pretty accurate. Their version of wood, that's pretty accurate. I'd say it's a Van Dyke brown. Let's see. This is definitely quite different, but not out of the park. It's still in the ballpark. This is pretty accurate. The sand from here to here is pretty accurate. And this is different, but not drastically so. So all in all, I think they did pretty good. What I think I'm gonna do, because I really love the blues in this, is I have a picture I'm gonna pull out from this book. I'll show you. Hold on one second. I have not tested this out extensively with wet media. Let me put this up for now. I gotta make sure there is no like pigment or anything on here, which can sometimes happen. It's just I don't want to mess this book up. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't expensive. It was, you know, somewhere in the middle of the road. If you want a review of this book, by the way, it is in my review playlist. So please go check that out. I do a full review. I did not color a picture in it, but I did do a full review of it. I did a little poll recently, and you can see where I've done some in it. The paper is very interesting. Just having to add to the review that I did, I would not recommend a super soft pencil. Prismas did not do that great for me. Believe it or not, I was not really happy with the way they laid down that. Some people might disagree that have this book. That's okay. But for me, I was not that happy. The oil-based pencils, or the pencils that are more like Lyra's or Luminance, they, I think, did way better. In fact, of all the ones I had tried so far, the Luminance did the best in this book. And it's Caran d'Ache, not Caran d'Ache. I know so many people some who should know better, pronouncing it Caran d'Ache, and it's Caran d'Ache. Okay, I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not trying to, you know, put the shame on anybody. It's Caran d'Ache. Okay, I learned it from somebody who actually, is in the know. So anyway. It's a pet peeve, guys. I'm sorry. It kind of gets on my nerves a little. Okay. This is the picture that folks were talking about. I did a poll, and I got 2 votes for this one and 1 vote for